Shadows by the Bridge, Chapter 4. The glow of the laptop screen lit up the dim kitchen, the password prompt staring back at me like a challenge. I held the thumb drive between my fingers, its weight heavier than it should have been. Felicia had hidden this, taped it inside a book she knew I'd never touch. She'd always teased me about my lack of interest in her legal world, saying I'd rather build a house than read about one. Now, that little jab felt like a wall she'd built between us, even in death. Uduak leaned over my shoulder, his breath warm against my ear. Any guesses? Her birthday. Your anniversary. I typed in 251219990, her birthdate, December 25, 1990. Nothing. 05082017, our wedding day. The screen flashed red, incorrect password. I cursed under my breath, running a hand over my face. Felicia was smarter than that. She wouldn't use something obvious, not for this. Maybe it's something from the case, Uduak suggested, pacing now. Ogumbanjo. The Bridge. I tried Ogumbanjo. Nothing. Third Mainland. Still locked. My fingers hovered over the keys, frustration boiling into anger. She'd locked me out of her secrets, her life. I slammed the laptop shut, the sound echoing in the quiet flat. Easy, Frank, Uduak said, grabbing my shoulder. We'll crack it. Just think, what meant something to her? Something personal. Personal. I stared at the closed laptop, my mind drifting back. Felicia had a way of holding onto little things, memories, phrases. Then it hit me. Fela. She loved Fela Kuti, his music weaving through our life together. I opened the laptop again and typed Zombie, her favorite track, the one we danced to in this very kitchen. The screen blinked green. Access granted. Uduak let out a low whistle. You're a genius, man. I wasn't so sure. The drive opened to a single folder, 6 dispute. Inside were PDFs, contracts, emails, court filings, all tied to the Ogumbanjo land case. I skimmed the first file, a contract between the Ogumbanjo family and a company called Alpha Holdings. The numbers were staggering, hundreds of millions in naira for a plot in Victoria Island. Felicia's notes were scribbled in the margins, check ownership. Shell company. She was digging, I said, my voice tight. This Alpha Holdings, it's not legit. She knew something was off. Uduak frowned, scrolling through an email chain. Look at this. She was talking to someone named Tiwa. Could that be T? My pulse quickened. The email was dated October 18th, 5 days before she died. Felicia had written, Tiwa, I need proof Alpha is clean. If this goes south, we are both exposed. The reply was short, meet me. We'll sort it. Don't tell anyone. No signature, just that. Tiwa, I muttered. Who the hell is Tiwa? Could be anyone, Uduak said. Client, colleague, informant. But that don't tell anyone, same vibe as the hidden phone's text. I kept digging. Another file caught my eye. A scanned document, a deed with a signature, Remy Ogumbanjo. The woman Uduak had mentioned, the one running the family now. Felicia had circled her name in red, with a question mark. Below it, she'd written, conflict of interest. She suspected Remy, I said, leaning back. Maybe Alpha was a front, and Remy was in on it. Felicia found out, and someone shot her up, Uduak finished, his voice grim. That hit and run's looking less like an accident. My stomach churned. I clicked deeper into the folder, finding a photo, grainy, taken from a distance. A woman in an encore top and trouser, tall, dark hair, standing by a black SUV. It was blurry, but it matched Susan's description of the woman who'd taken the files. My hands shook as I zoomed in. Could this be Remy? Or Tiwa? Or someone else entirely? We need to find this Tiwa, I said, shutting the laptop. And Remy. If she's tied to Alpha, she knows what Felicia was onto. Uduak nodded, but his eyes were wary. Frank, this is big, politicians, shady deals. You're stepping into deep water. You sure you can swim? I don't have a choice, I said, standing. Felicia didn't die because of some drunk driver. Someone wanted her gone. I'm not stopping until I know who. The rain had picked up again outside, drumming against the windows. I grabbed my jacket, the thumb drive safe in my pocket. Tiwa. Remy. Alpha. The pieces were there, scattered like broken glass. I'd find them, fit them together, even if it cut me to pieces. Felicia deserved that much. And whoever did this, they'd pay. The rain battered the windshield as I drove toward 3rd Mainland Bridge, the wiper slashing through the blur. It was late, past 11 p.m., and the city had settled into an uneasy quiet, broken only by the occasional horn or rumble of a truck. Uduak sat beside me, his face lit by the dashboard glow, his usual grin replaced by a tight line. I'd convinced him to come back to the bridge with me, to the spot where Felicia died. If Tiwa had met her here, if this was where it all went wrong, maybe there'd be something left, a clue, a ghost, anything. You sure about this, Frank? Uduak asked, his voice low. It's been 3 years. What do you expect to find? I don't know, I admitted, my hands tight on the wheel. But she was here for a reason. That message, meet me by the bridge, it's all I've got. I need to see it again, feel it. He didn't argue, just nodded. Uduak knew me too well, once I latched onto something, I didn't let go. We parked near the bridge's edge, the same stretch where the police had found her car crumpled against the railing. The rain had slowed to a drizzle, but the air was thick, heavy with the smell of wet concrete and the lagoon below. I stepped out, my boots crunching on the gravel, and walked to the spot. The railing was still bent, a scar from that night. I closed my eyes, picturing her, Felicia, alone, waiting for Tiwa. What had she been thinking? Was she scared? Angry? Did she know what was coming? Uduak joined me, hands in his pockets. You okay, man? No, I said, opening my eyes. But I have to be. Look around, anything stand out? We scanned the area. The bridge stretched long and empty, its lights flickering in the mist. We kept searching, not knowing what we were really looking for. Uduak was about to give up when something caught my attention. Over there, see that? Near the railing, half hidden by weeds, was a faded piece of fabric caught on a jagged edge. I knelt, pulling it free. It was small, torn, but the pattern, red and gold, intricate, felt familiar. My breath caught. This looks like her scarf. She wore it that day. Uduak frowned. You sure? After 3 years, rain and all. I'd know it anywhere, I said, my voice shaking. She loved this thing, said it was a good luck charm. If it's here, she was wearing it when I couldn't finish. The scarf was damp, frayed, but it was hers. Proof she'd stood right here, waiting. Okay, Uduak said, stepping closer. So she met Tiwa. Then what? The hit and run. Someone planned it. Maybe. I stood, clutching the scarf. Or it went wrong. Tiwa could have set her up, or warned her, and it didn't matter. Either way, this Alpha Holdings mess, Remy, it's all tied to this spot. Headlights flashed behind us, a car slowing as it approached. My pulse spiked. We were alone out here, exposed. The car, a black sedan, rolled to a stop, and a woman stepped out. Tall, dark hair, encore top and trouser creased despite the weather. She matched Susan's description, the photo from the thumb drive. My blood ran cold. Frank Idoja, she called, her voice smooth, cutting through the drizzle. We need to talk. Uduak tensed beside me. Who's this now? I don't know, I said, stepping forward, hands in my pocket. But I'm about to find out. She walked closer, her heels clicking on the wet asphalt, her face unreadable in the dim light. I've been looking for you, she said. You're digging into things you shouldn't. Felicia made the same mistake. My fist clenched. Who are you? Tiwa. Remy. Someone who got her killed. She smiled, thin and sharp. Call me Lami. And I didn't kill her. But I know who did. Let's just say I'm here to stop you from finding out. The rain picked up, a steady drumbeat around us. Lami, or whoever she was, stood there, unflinching, as I stared her down. Felicia's scarf burned in my hand. This was no coincidence. She knew something, and I'd get it out of her, one way or another.